name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, I would like to greet all of you in the greeting words of peace of Assalamu Alaikum. And I want to also extend my condolences to the family of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan on the loss of our beautiful brother Joshua. So what we want to do first is start off with a clip of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan talking about the weather. As we already know, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan has been telling us to watch the weather. And as our sister said, you know, there are states that usually don't get snow that are getting snow. And we look at Texas, for instance, that was really rocked by just a cold wind, froze up everything and caused them to lose power. So let's take a look at this clip and we'll get right into the slide.
This is the day of battle. Gather all nations down into the valley of Jehoshaphat. There will I plead with them for my people, whom they have sold. God is marching today. Boston, have you dug out yet? Is it cold enough for you now? Planes can't fly. Ambulance can't come. Police cars can't ride. Too much snow. See, you don't control that. The Bible says I stored up snow in the north to bring down in the day of battle. This is the day. It's going to get rough and rougher. Snow on the East Coast, flood on the West, fire, tornadoes, hurricane, earthquakes. You ain't seen nothing yet. Nothing.
All right. And as we all know, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is, for many of us, the voice of God. You know, he is the one who allows us, who allows us into the mind and thinking of God, right? And we know that today is that day of war. And so let's look at some of the things that we want to do that we can prepare ourselves as best as possible when it comes down to a natural disaster. So let's go ahead and get right on into it. Hopefully you all can see the screen. And so I have put together a book, and we'll put the link into the chat where you can go and get this book for free by signing up to our email list. Or you can purchase the book for $5. And it's Winter Ready, Your Ultimate Guide to Winter Preparedness. And this quote is by Brother Dawood Muhammad, who you may know his radio name, Wisdom to See. And he said, make your home a sanctuary and not a cemetery. Let's get on into it. The book is called Winter Preparedness. It has links to resources, emergency resources, first aid kit, weatherization, home, how to weatherize your home, your car, even insurance provider information, and emergency communication devices. And once again, you know, you can get this book by for free. It's a PDF with links, hot links in it, and you can get it for free by signing up to our email list, which I'm going to put into the chat as soon as this is finished. So let's look at this. It says introduction. It says, welcome to the Winter Preparedness Forum, Surviving the Cold, your ultimate guide to a vital resource designed to empower the Black community with essential knowledge and strategies to navigate the challenges of impending harsh winters. And when we say impending harsh winters, you know, when we look at the extreme weather, we can't think that the winters won't be any more or any less extreme than what we see as far as the wildfires, the hurricanes, the tornadoes. Everything is getting more extreme, even the heat in the spring and summer. So, as we saw in the clip by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, you know, God has stored up, He has treasured up snow in the north to be used as a weapon. So, brothers and sisters, regardless to what state you may live in, it would behoove you to prepare just in case that winter might find your state. So I'll use this parable. There were two builders decided to construct their houses side by side. The wise man took the time to lay a strong foundation, insulate the walls, and ensure that the roof was sturdy. The foolish builder, however, rushed through the construction, neglecting these precautions. When winter storms swept through the land, the house of the wise builder stood strong, warm, and secure. In contrast, the house of the foolish builder suffered leaks, drafts, and ultimately a collapse. This parable teaches us that through preparation essential to weather the storms of life, included those in winter. So, how do we begin to prepare ourselves? Let's start with how to eat to live. Let's start with our physical body. So, what we need to definitely do is to consume a well balanced diet, right? Rich in vitamins and minerals, and consisting mainly of fruits and vegetables, nutrients dense and that will positively impact our mood and increase our energy levels. So, as we already know from How to Eat to Live, the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad tells us that good old Navy bean. And as I had a guest on my program, Brother Sean Ali, he talked about the reason why the military chose the Navy bean is because it has all of the nutrients and everything that's needed to nourish the troops. Vitamin C, zinc, garlic, echinacea, black seed, vitamin D. We definitely need to get vitamin D, and the best place, of course, is to get it from the sun. Stay away from sugar. Sugar, it just destroys the immune system, especially processed sugar. So, you know, around these holiday times, many of us eat a lot of cakes and cookies and things like that. And then when you have the new year arrive, then everybody is catching, or they're telling you to catch or to get a flu shot or some other shot like that. But I never had to get any type of shot, only because, you know, you maintain a proper diet, your immune system will stay intact. Physical fitness. We need to stay physically fit. Exercise stimulates the release of what's called endorphins, which are natural mood filters. In winter, when daylight hours are shorter and seasonal affective disorder, some believe in, right, is common, physical activity can combat feelings of depression and anxiety. Once again, the cure for that is to, even if it's cold, to get outside and to get a little bit of sun. You know, of course, we're going to talk about layering up before you go outside, but some of the exercises that you can do right in your home are isometrics. You can do, if you go out and get just rubber bands, you can do rubber band resistance, and that will not only give you strength, but that will tone up your body, that will keep you toned. And then, of course, using your own body weight, which is calisthenics, will help you to stay in shape. And as you all know, some of us, we begin to hibernate during the winter, gaining a little winter weight, as we call it, right? The next thing is, of course, mental preparedness, because winter can be such a rough time, especially for us as Black people. I don't know about you, But you know, one of the reasons why I'm just upset that they took us from Africa is because of the winters, right? So one of the things that we can do is, of course, prayer. Prayer is, some say that prayer is a non-thought, but prayer is something that helps to buttress and helps to support our mental health. Meditation, deep breathing, all of this is important because many times when we're under stress, we forget to breathe properly, right? So taking in that deep breath and exhaling, and you almost immediately feel pressure being released from your body, like they have in that movie, Waiting to Exhale. Then getting proper sleep. Proper sleep is very important in the winter months. Let's go now to, as the curtain draws back, survival items and gear. Of course, essential clothing is, or clothing, proper clothing is essential. You know, I have to tell my daughter and my son, you know, even though they're going to be getting in the car and the car has heat, never walk out your home in the winter without putting on proper clothing, because the car could break down. You could be caught in an accident. Anything can happen. So you have to always be prepared. Never leave your home without having proper clothing. We need insulated jackets and pants, base layer. And in the book that I will put the link in the chat, there's a proper type of material that you should wear that will help draw moisture away from your skin in the winter. We need to definitely keep on a warm hat because the heat from our body can escape from our head. Also, we need to definitely have on gloves and proper footwear with proper socks, because one of the things that the body does to keep the human being alive is that if it gets under extreme situations, it will draw heat away from your hands and your feet, and it will draw it to keep your organs warm, your heart, your lungs, and so forth. And also, one of the things that you need to consider is to have something that you can put over your mouth so that if it's extremely cold outside, your lungs won't freeze up. So let's go on, and because I know I don't want to take up too much time. Weatherizing your home. This is very important, of course. Preparing your home for winter is essential to ensure comfort, energy efficiency, and safety during the cold months. Whether you live in a house or an apartment, this comprehensive checklist will help get you ready for winter. And so a few things that we need to consider is the heating system inspection. You know, have your heating system professionally inspected and replace filters if needed. Bleed air from radiators if applicable. Seal drafts, and this you can do by, if you can put plastic around certain windows, even cardboard to keep out drafts. You can also get you a towel and put it underneath the door to keep drafts from coming into the home, because that's also wasting a lot of money when you have those type of drafts. And so we want to definitely look at heat insulation. And one of the things we want to always do in winter is we want to check our carbon monoxide detector and our smoke detectors, because a lot of people burn up in the winter because they may have the oven on, they may have a heating source on, and it catches on fire, candles, and it catches on fire. So we want to make sure that we have those things in place. Winterize your home, as we were saying, as you can see, money floating out of the window. So we definitely want to make sure that we, cover that area. And so once again, just go get that book. It's free. Just sign up to our email list or purchase it just for $5. Either or, it helps out. It helps us to continue to bring this information to our community. Now, car maintenance is very important. Winterize your vehicle is critical steps to ensure your safety and the reliability of your car during the cold winter months. Here are some of the reasons why you should winterize your car. And visibility, winterizing includes checking and replacing worn out wiper blades and ensuring your defrost and heater are working correctly, providing clear vision. So, you know, if you go out and your defrost doesn't work, you, man, it's going to be just difficult, very difficult driving, you know, if not impossible, because of the temperature inside the vehicle outside. So the windows are frost up. So that you definitely want to make sure you have in place. Fluids and lubricants. Lubrication, cold weather can affect fluids like oil and antifreeze. So you definitely want to have them topped off. You don't want your oil to be old. You want to make sure that all of those are in its proper in proper levels. Of course, check your tires. If you can, buy winter tires because they'll give you better traction. And if you don't have winter tires, then just be cautious driving. Of course, don't drive too close to the vehicles that are in front of you. Give yourself proper braking distance, which is more than what you would have on a dry surface. Make sure that your battery is strong because the cold air also siphons the energy out of your body, your battery. So if you have a bad battery, then you might walk outside and your car might not start, right? Also make sure your fuel, you know, some of us, we drive just above E. Well, in the winter, just pretend that the halfway mark is on E. That's what you should do. So whenever it gets close to the halfway mark, go ahead and fill it back up because it can get cold and freeze up your fuel line. So let's go right on into power outages, right? And there are a number of different ways that power outages can happen because America doesn't take care of its power grid. It's an antiquated power grid. The grid, as we read down and at the bottom, is 25 years old. And as of the latest information, 70% of U.S. transmission lines fall into this category, 70%. And so we have issues in the summer and issues in the winter, and what they call rolling blackouts, which means that if a power grid goes down, it could have a domino effect and cause others to go down as they try to compensate for that power grid going down. So brothers and sisters, if you you know, if we have this situation, this is what you're going to have to do right here. Build you a micro environment in your home, right? So a micro environment is where you choose a room in your home that you can insulate properly if the power goes out. And I would get a My Buddy heater, and it's a what is it, propane heater, and this is one that you can burn inside. Of course, you know, I would have some ventilation if you're going to burn anything inside, right? So one of the things that you have in your micro environment is warm clothing, blankets and throws to cover yourself with, a heating source, a portable heater or electric blanket for warming. And of course, in the micro environment, if you have the power out, you know, one of the best things that they have nowadays are solar powered generators, right? These solar powered generators are quiet, right? So your neighbors don't necessarily hear your generator and come in and try to take it or whatever. So think about getting you a solar powered generator, insulating curtains, emergency flashlight, because the power is going to be off. And so you can burn candles, but you have to be very careful not to go to sleep with the candles lit, right? You can also go to the store and get one of those things that you put out in the yard that light up at night. You put it out in the day, let the sun energize it, and just bring it in at night. Humidifier, entertainment, get you some board games, because if the power is out, you may not be able to charge up your laptop or your phone, but good old board games like Yahtzee and Uno, you know what I'm saying, and warm beverages. Okay, so let's go on to the next slide. And all right, so Once again, Winter Ready, your ultimate guide to winter preparedness. You can get that book at withkoji.com/at Refuge Depot. And you can also see the information that is on the screen. You can also go to the website, blacksagenews.com, where we post a lot of disaster preparedness type of information. And we want to have our families smiling. As we said in the intro, make your home a sanctuary and not a cemetery.